You're locked into the RC3 podcast, broadcasting live from the borderlands. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, South Texas ain't quiet no more. Like, sub, share the damn thing. Let's ride.
This is the RC3 podcast.
Hey, what's up?
This is a bit of a chill episode. I am RC3. I'm your host. We got the Claudius in the house, co-host, producer. He's not doing producer duties today, though. Today is, just getting drunk and
Shit.
just spreading some wisdom here at the RC3 podcast. Coming straight at you from the borderlands, right? Streaming straight out of Puro Desmadre Studios. And like I said, it's gonna be a little bit more of a chill episode. We got some political shit to discuss, but it's a lot of there's also a lot of other things that we gotta clear the air on. I had a debate. I told you about this, right? Last Thursday with the professional bullshitter, Rob Noor. In Spanish, here where we're from, these professional bullshitters, they got a name. We call them quinchincheres. El quinchinche.
Rob Noor, el Quinchinche.
Rob Noor, el quinchinche. And the reason why I'm calling Rob Noor a bullshitter is because that's what the guy is. I mean, let's be honest. He's a bullshitter. He's a good speaker. He's a hell of a debater. He actually, have you heard of the streamers Destiny?
I have.
What about Pisco?
I don't think I've heard of peace.
Well, these guys are like professional debaters, man. They're both Destiny and Pisco are more on the left side of the political spectrum. Rob Noor is more on the right end of the political spectrum, and they've debated each other plenty of times. And Rob Noor hangs in there with these guys, right? Now, I want to give you guys an example of something I'm talking about. So, I started the debate with a proposal, a claim, right? My claim was very simple. The claim was that Donald Trump is the enemy of the working class, right? Now, that to me seems like an obvious statement, an obvious reality, an obvious truth, right? Like, you really got to spin shit around to come away with the idea that no, actually Donald Trump fucking is doing everything he can for the working man. One of the examples I had was this case involving Navy Federal Credit Union. Now these guys, bro, they stiffed their customers. That's made up primarily of veterans. They stiffed them out of almost 80 million collectively in illegal overdraft fees. So under the Biden administration, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the CFPB, fined Navy Federal Credit Union, and they agreed to pay back 80 million plus another 15 million as a penalty, as a fine to these families. The credit union had already agreed to it. They had already decided, all right, look, yeah, we fucked up, whatever. We'll pay our veterans back, right? You got us.
As they should.
Biden, gets beat in the 2024 election. Trump comes in, and last month, the CFPB under Trump just told Navy Federal Credit Union, hey guys, that shit you agreed to pay, don't worry about it. So all these millions that they screwed our veterans out of, well, our veterans are going to keep getting screwed. So there's a bunch of pissed off veterans saying, like, what's the point of this? These guys didn't issue a reason why they did it. It was just like a straight up fuck you. And so my first question to Rob Noor was, how is this populism? Right? It was just one example out of many. And I knew right from his first response that he didn't even know about the case I was talking about. Now, I didn't know how that was possible, considering the fact that this was a widely, it was a case that had made its rounds in national news cycles, right?
Yeah.
But he didn't know what I was talking about. So then they employ what's called the escape room tactic. Like, I'm trying to escape the room of the question, so I'm trying to find little levers to try to escape having to answer the question, right? And so he comes at me with well, you said that the CFPB was gutted. Do you know how much it was gutted? And my dumbass fucking went along with it, right? In reality, what the fuck does it matter how much it was gutted? We agree that it was gutted because in reality it was gutted. And it turns out I had said it was good by around 50%. It was good by 90%. And so then from then on, he talks about, well, like, well, actually, his tariff policies just gave us a $150 billion surplus. And, and that's given back to the country. So that is populism. A regressive tax on average Americans, on ordinary Americans, is populism, according to these guys. So, at least according to the expert bullshitter, right? The professional bullshitter, the Quinchinchete. And the entire debate was kind of like that, right? And there were some moments where, like, I go back and I watch it and I kind of kick myself in the teeth because I was like, man, number one, I really got to stop fucking drinking during these fucking debates. But number two, it's like, you got to be able to spot the bullshit as it's happening. I know you haven't gotten a chance to watch the debate, right? But you'll watch it. I know you will. And when you do, you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, so I'll probably do a review of that later. I had actually planned to do a review of that today, but we had some technical difficulties, and we had a little too much beers at Buffalo's, and we had said we're only going to do 2 beers. That's going to be our limit, and we ended up drinking at least 8. And so here we are, unprepared, and ready to dominate YouTube's vagina.
That's right.
All right, man. Is there anything that's happened this week that's made you lose sleep?
What's happened this week that has made me lose sleep? Man, I just keep going back to the Ghislaine Maxwell story that just doesn't want to go away.
Oh, is there anything in particular about that?
No, it's on every news cycle. Like, they're not dropping it. We have I think in general, the general population has a really short attention span. So, something happens, it hits the news 2-3 days, and we're on to the next thing.
You made that point last time. That's actually a really good point.
Yeah. And once again, it's been a week since our last pod, and it's still in the news.
Still in the news.
It's not going away. So I believe the latest is that you have Maxwell, who's in prison right now, right? The people still talking about the list, but okay, so she's serving a prison sentence for trafficking a minor.
Convicted,
correct. But to who? Who's the person on the other end? The person that actually received the service, I guess you can say that was being provided by Maxwell and Epstein. Like, we know they're guilty, right? But who's on the receiving end of that?
Well, not to distract from what you're talking about, but wasn't Matt Gaetz also convicted of trafficking a minor?
Yeah, there was a whole thing where there's a mugshot of Matt Gaetz on the internet, and my understanding is that he tried his hardest there to try and remove it off the internet. That's not gonna happen. Yeah,
once that shit goes on there, you're pretty much fucked.
But then he was also selected to be the Attorney General, and once they told him that Congress was gonna have to grill him on everything that they...
Oh, that's right.
He said, "Oh, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'll pass." Who knows what was gonna...
But I guess the reason why I brought up Matt Gaetz was because he was also convicted, but he was convicted of sexually trafficking a minor over state lines, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there isn't necessarily always a receiving partner.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's it's for your own pleasure, right?
Yeah.
You're in the wrong all on your own. There's not necessarily a client or not necessarily. So in this case, I know for a fact that the government was just content to, what's the term? I guess not dig any further, not turn any more stones, right?
Yeah.
They got her, they convicted her for 20 years, and that to them was enough, right? Because oddly enough, in her case, they didn't press her on any of the facts of the case, like who else was involved, who were the clients, who else was a part of this ring. Like you would think that those are all pieces of information that you would want to know, right? But again, as a prosecutor, then maybe you're just you're just trying to prove your case, and you're just trying to get the person who's convicted locked up, and you're trying to make the best possible case without hurting it. Maybe. What do you think?
I mean, so you're building a case, right? So but in order to build a whole case, and I guess I didn't really keep up with the trial, but somebody got convicted, and there has to be a reason why they got convicted, and they got time. Now, but what was the whole case like? Okay, so somebody was trafficked. Why wasn't the person who this person was being trafficked to also brought in on the trial into the case? You know what I mean? Was there? I guess on the other end is what I want. I would like to know is who
else was involved?
Who else was involved?
Yeah, listen, I've come to terms with the fact that we may never know. On the one hand, you have the person who can exonerate Trump.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, you have Trump who's looking for an exoneration for political reasons. You got one person seeking a pardon. That's Ghislaine Maxwell. And then on the other hand, you got the only person who can give out a pardon. So do you think, and now we just came out, the DOJ just spent 2 days talking to Ghislaine Maxwell and gave her immunity for, whatever she says.
Yeah, did they grant it? They grant it? Okay.
So here's my question to you. Why would she say anything contrary against the only guy that can give her what she wants, which is her freedom, a pardon?
Yeah.
So the entire thing right from the fucking start is fugazi.
Agreed.
The entire thing right from the start is shady as fuck. Okay? So, but you have this situation regardless where the only man that can give this woman a pardon is the man who's implicated in the entire fucking situation.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I mean, the entire thing is just so fucking transparent. And it's just so obvious, man. So I wouldn't put it past these motherfuckers. They're so fucking shameless that Ghislaine Maxwell comes out, and I said this last time, and the only fucking people on the client list were Democrats, right?
Yeah.
Possible future political opponents. You might as well throw Gavin Newsom in there, right?
Yeah.
And suddenly, in a clean slate for Trump, obviously, right? Actually, she'll come out saying something like he actually was against all this situation. You can already see the fucking spin that's going to come around. Anything for a fucking pardon. And, and these trafficking victims, I don't know if it's Virginia Giuffre, but she came out recently talking about Ghislaine Maxwell, saying that was a monster. That she's not a fucking victim in this case, because right-wing news media has already spun this, trying to make the claim that she's actually a victim, Ghislaine Maxwell is.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of like prepping the ground for a possible pardon.
Yeah. I don't know if you caught it this week. It was in the, I don't know, it was somewhere on the internet. I was reading it. I believe it was Donald Trump that they asked him about Virginia. Is that what
Oh, yeah. Yeah, finish what you're saying there.
And he said that she used to work at Mar-a-Lago,
Mm-hmm.
and that they stole her from Mar-a-Lago. How do you steal a human being?
Poached her
off of, but for what? Where'd she go?
The funny part about that was this guy just keeps fucking stepping in, right? The funny part about this, bro, is I feel like his relationship to his supporters, his MAGA followers online, he likes putting them through humiliation rituals, right? Every single time that I mention Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump in the same breath, the number one argument that they always come back at me with is Donald Trump cannot be implicated in this because as soon as he found out that Jeffrey Epstein was a pedophile, he threw him out of Mar-a-Lago. That's the fucking argument that they always come at me with.
Yeah.
Well, Donald Trump just recently came out and said, no, it wasn't that. It was that he was poaching my employees.
That's right.
And that's why I kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago.
Oh, man.
Of course, being the fucking asshole that I am, I go back to these people and say, hey, remember that one time you told me that Donald Trump couldn't be implicated because he kicked Jeffrey Epstein out? Actually, this was the reason. And then I press play and I just show them Trump's own words, and it's a humiliation ritual, bro. These poor bastards, man. But they put themselves in this situation where they've MAGA, man. They just become so submissive, dude. Soy boys.
There is. I mean, what do you think about still MAGA, right? But the 2026 midterms are shaping up to be. I guess this is where we find out if it's going to be a referendum on its first 2 years or not.
Well, before we get to the midterms, let's close the circle. Let's close the loop on the Jeffrey Epstein and the pedophile thing. I mean, it's not necessarily connected to Jeffrey Epstein, but last week, or maybe this at the beginning of this week, the Trump administration closed, or they rescinded a law demanding that the Catholic clergy report sexual abuse of children. So now, so before, when a child would go for, like, what's it called when you go into that little box and you confession,
yeah,
and they disclosed, something that was happening, or they confessed something that was happening involving, sexual abuse. The whatever priest or pastor, whatever, they were required to report that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Trump administration, for some odd reason, said, you know what, scratch that. You're no longer required to report it.
I didn't know that.
Well, I mean, I'm an open-minded individual.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm willing to hear the case.
But wouldn't it be? I mean, isn't it important that they continue reporting that? Like, why would you just want to throw something under the rug like that happens?
I mean, here's my thing though. Like, why even get involved?
Yeah. Actually, that's right.
Right? Like, just let it, even if you disagree with it, right? Just like, for some reason that, that I'm maybe lost on me, right? Like, it's some legal reason or whatever, right? Client attorney privilege or something along those lines, right? Like, I know, like, psychiatrists have this thing with clients that even if they're disclosing something, that's illegal. Like The Sopranos, right? That there's a privilege there between.
Correct.
But, like, why fucking actively get involved in it?
Yeah, like, why does the federal government have to?
Like, I mean, it's not going to make you look good.
No.
Like, why feel that need to say, you know what, we got to step in this one, and defend these priests from having to tell us about the sexual abuse cases? But it just seems like
seems a little odd.
I mean, if any of you, Catholics, MAGA Catholics out there, have a good answer for this as to why it was a good move, I'd like to hear it. So far, I haven't heard one. I mean, it's a yucky subject, considering that the Catholic Church are the heavyweight champions of pedophilia. It's a touchy subject, man. I mean, and like, and not to get off on a fucking tangent, but I'm gonna go off on a tangent, right? I mean, the speaking of heavyweight champions, the conservatives are also the heavyweight champions of projection, right? If anytime they accuse the Democrats of doing something, it's a safe fucking bet that they're doing it themselves, right? Like, every accusation is a goddamn confession with these motherfuckers, right? Like there was this the guy from Oklahoma, the governor, the one that just, like, signed the law that Oklahoma was going to have Bibles in school, in classrooms, and not just any Bible, the goddamn Trump Bible.
Oh.
That motherfucker was just caught accidentally showing his fucking internet tabs in a live, like, meeting. Fucking naked bitches and fucking, like, just like a real fucking degenerate, this guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we're getting lectures from these fucking people, bro. Like,
and he's a governor of the state.
And he's a governor of the goddamn state of Oklahoma, bro. Of course, he did what every conservative fucking learns in the first day of conservative training.
Mm-hmm.
You blame the media.
Blame the media. That's right.
The deep state planted that those tabs on my fucking These people are fucking sad.
Those tabs just popped up on his.
These tabs, like, did you hear about Alex Jones?
What's going on
Was it
there?
Alex Jones? This is some time back, but again, like there was a close up on like the tabs that he had. It was like trans porn.
Oh, I did hear about that.
That's-
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Like, I'm telling you, man, every accusation of when it comes from these motherfuckers, every accusation is a confession.
Yeah. But
yeah,
it was the media,
it was a goddamn, it was liberal media,
and the people will swallow that.
and the people will swallow that, man.
They will
There was this guy years back running for Senate. His name was Roy Moore.
I remember Roy
you
Moore.
remember that
I
cocksucker?
remember that guy.
And this guy was credibly accused of just being a fucking straight up pedophile. The 30 years old, fucking going to the, checking girls out of schools, high school girls, taking them to the mall and the Lord knows what else, right? And he was running for, and he also was one of these guys that wanted the 10 Commandments everywhere. That's another just rule of thumb that you gotta be aware of. The louder they are about wanting the 10 Commandments somewhere, the more skeletons they have in their closet. You know,
That's right.
like these people are just fucking real pieces of shit, you know? And it just goes that way all across the board. Trump himself, bro, just he was on fucking, on camera talking about, they asked him about his first daughter, Tiffany. Who does she like? Who does she look like? That the common question that a lot of people get about their newborns, right? And he's like, well, she has Ivana's legs, and time will tell whether she has this part. Talking about her tits, fucking like an 8-month-old, bro. Like, who talks that way about their daughters, bro?
Yeah.
A real fucking sick fucking piece of shit. That's
The
who.
same guy who said he would date his own daughter. If it
The
wasn't
same
his
guy,
daughter.
right, man? And when he was on The View, and they asked him what he has in common with Ivanka, who's a real fine fucking woman. I mean, let's be honest, right?
Mhm.
But rest assured, if she was my fucking daughter, I mean, there's not give out, right? Like there's just some lines you don't fucking cross. But this guy on national fucking TV, bro.
Yeah.
What do I have in common with my daughter? I want to say sex, but that's not something that's. Who says that shit, bro? What do you mean you have sex in common with your daughter?
No.
And these fucking hosts, you didn't think to follow up on that one? Like, what does he mean that he has sex in common with his daughter? Like, Ivanka's like fucking kind of like this, like awkward laugh. Like,
if she could leave the room, she would have left in that moment.
it's like, what the fuck, dude? Like,
I think she was just like, no, Dad.
or like this, the same guy that fucking says that about 12-year-olds that he'll be dating them in the future. Walking in on fucking underage girls. Like, this is the guy that Christians think is the chosen one, right?
But as long as you're famous,
They let you do it.
they'll let you do it. Damn.
I mean, it just blows my mind, Claudius.
Yeah, it really does.
The world that we're living in, man. And and it's getting even fucking more divided. You would think that the whole Epstein case, the whole thing would that would have been the. No, well, I'm full of shit on that one too, man, because he's done so much shit even before the Epstein case that you would have been like, this one is gonna do him in with his supporters. And his fucking support keeps going up, man. They just eat this shit up, bro. I'm telling you, the conservatives are just the most fucking immoral people that are around. Man. At least liberals fucking, they say they're degenerates, right? Like these people come at you, draped in a fucking American flag and with a Bible in hand, and they just fucking just are the worst motherfuckers that you can imagine.
Yeah. So as long as they do it in the name of Christ, they feel like it's okay.
I mean, ironically, they don't got to do anything that Christ fucking demands, or they don't got to even try to act like Christ, but as long as they come at you, with the cross and this and that, there's a saying that goes, in fact, man, if fascism ever comes to the United States, it'll come draped in a flag with a cross in the other hand.
I could see that.
I mean, you're seeing it.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
like-
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I mean, did you ever did you get to catch that? Speaking of fascism, did you get to catch that episode of Jubilee on YouTube, the one with Mehdi Hassan and the
No.
20 far right Republicans?
I don't think so.
Well, it was pitched as far right Republicans. I mean, you got to check this out, man.
Okay.
It's gotten a lot of what's the word? A lot of play on even on national news because of how fucking outlandish the extreme right wing conservatives were. So when they mentioned right wing conservatives, they should have just fucking said fascists. Right?
Yeah.
And I'm not exaggerating, bro. They used the word and they admitted to being fascists. And the guy that was debating them, Mehdi Hassan, you know who Mehdi Hassan is, right?
Yeah.
fantastic fucking debater, man. Just a fucking real fucking sword slinger. This fucking guy. Uh, he's on there with these fucking guys, and they're just telling him straight up, like, you're gonna be the first one to go. We don't want you here. These fucking privileged fucking white boys, you know what I mean? Never fucking had a struggle in their fucking life. Incels, they probably can't get a fucking taste of pussy to fucking save their life. And they got all this fucking pent up frustration and rage. They probably got a fucking racist grandpa.
Yeah.
And immigrants probably fucking fucked with their girlfriends, like when they were in the fucking 8th grade. Just like swooning with fucking hatred, and it had nothing to do in reality with like the economics of immigration, right? It never really does, or it has nothing to do with like, immigration is bringing down wages, or all of these technical arguments that they use to like to like veil their real intentions or their real feelings. It all comes down to fucking hatred of fucking of people that don't look like them, man.
That's right.
And that's what was exposed in this. I'm telling you, man, you got to watch this shit, dude.
I will.
It's on the Jubilee channel, and it's Mehdi Hassan versus 20. It's all a part of the Surrounded series. I don't know if you've seen those. It's like the one the main debater in the middle. And it's like 20 around, and they and it's just mind-boggling to see the state.
I haven't seen that one, but I will.
No, it's mind-boggling to see the sad state of affairs in our fucking country, man. And these cocksuckers, they sound exactly like the fucking president. They're just as fucking loud, just as fucking obnoxious. They think they can say whatever the fuck they want. They always punch down. They never punch up. They're always fucking talking about, their hatred for illegals, the culture. There's always some kind of fucking fear mongering, some kind of bogeyman that they're afraid of, man. They never add anything positive to the fucking country. They talk about America first, but they support fucking this guy whose policies are like gutting Medicaid and like just fucking over Americans. In fact, dude, fucking Trump it just came out that they're redecorating the fucking the White House ballroom, and they're plating everything with fucking gold.
I saw the image,
like $200 million, like a renovation, like some real like let them eat cake shit. You know what I mean? Like, fucking this guy's like Marie Antoinette.
That's right.
It's fucking wild, man. It's wild, dude. And these fucking poor fucking Valley MAGA supporters, bro, fucking making under 30K a year, fucking thinking that this guy's looking out for their best interest, man. It's just fucking mind blowing.
The $30,000 millionaires.
The $30,000 fucking, yeah, bro. If you just fucking set your mind to it.
Yeah.
There's this one guy that I know, man, that he was always like preaching like that real like hustle culture.
Yeah.
You remember that shit, right? Like a few years back, bro. Like if you just fucking hustle and you just fucking work, you don't even gotta sleep, man. Like sleep is for pussies. Like you just fucking sleep 3 hours a night, and then you got like fucking 21 hours left to do work, right? And these fucking it's hustle culture, right? Well, I had this fucking friend, dude, who was like real about hustle culture, man. And we'd always get these fucking arguments. They say, no, man, you can fucking do whatever you fucking put your mind to, and this is America. And listen, to a certain degree, I agree, right? Like to a certain extent, right? Like, yeah, man, like there's a lot of opportunity, and you can't be a lazy fuck and think that you're gonna advance.
Yeah,
right?
no, of course
like
not.
But again, man, this was just like that on fucking steroids, man. Like complete, just like no analysis of our system, right? Like every failure is not because of some fucking systemic issue that's like been made like that. It's because you didn't try hard enough. All of this assumes, right, like that we're all born on the same place
with the same opportunities
in the track. Right, like we all start off at the same place in the track.
Clean slate. Everybody starts.
Yeah, everybody starts off, and that's just not a fucking reality, man. Like some people start off like fucking 40 yards ahead, 40 yards back, and everywhere fucking in between, man. And and you gotta fucking realize that, man.
There was a it's like a thought exercise. I don't know if you've seen it on YouTube, where there's like a bunch of teenagers lined up, and there's a guy at the end of the field calling out to them.
I think I've seen that.
And he tells them, like, if you grew up in a household with both parents, take a step forward.
Yeah.
And then
I've heard about it, but I haven't seen it.
Okay,
So
so
explain
then
it.
he tells them like, if you grew up in a household with both parents, like take a step forward, and a bunch of kids take a step forward, and in that first step, there's already a bunch of kids that couldn't make that first
Right.
step. So then he tells them like, if you were able to like do extracurricular activities, take a step forward. And other kids jump. And after a few questions, he stops and then he tells them look back. So all these kids turn around and they see their peers 10, 15 steps behind them, and that gives you an idea of, everybody doesn't have the same opportunity to begin where. And I don't need to make it about this, but it was people of color that were still standing at the starting line.
Like the blacks. The blacks.
The Hispanics. They were, but it's a.
But then listen. But somebody like a Ben Shapiro will say, "Well, that's y'all's culture. Y'all's culture is what I mean. That's nothing to do with the system. That's nothing to do with anything. That's y'all's culture. That y'all need to get y'all shit together." How do you respond to something to that critique?
I mean, the system is built in a way, and this is just of what I've seen, man. I mean, a lot of times there's a lot of children, and it's not a culture thing, man, but you see it a lot in the communities of color where the father is like not present in the home, right? For whatever reason, he's not present, but most of the times he is in prison, right? And you get the sense that the government has replaced the father in the household with the state government, the federal government, like somebody else to take that role. And for whatever reason, these fathers are incarcerated or no longer alive and stuff like that. That's one of those things. And so you can say up to a certain point, this is about people of color. But then if you look across the Midwest, which was, I believe it was Eisenhower who said that if you want change in America, it has to come from the Midwest. If the Midwest doesn't change, the country is not going to change. And the Midwest is where you find pretty much all our manufacturing, traditional conservative values. White people live in the Midwest, right? And you get the idea that these statistics now show that there is a large drug problem, fentanyl and such, in the Midwest with white families. There is manufacturing has left. Manufacturing has moved on to other countries, or it's got into other parts of the country, to the coasts and stuff. And there's a sense amongst white people that they have turned into other colored people. The issues that black people have, that Mexicans have, that Hispanics have, they're also going through it right now. So I want to say, I think it was about 40 to 50% of white women are now single mothers, having children before marriage, drug problems. They're on government benefits, and these people have turned into what others have, into what colored people are going through, and they don't like it. Like, they don't.
Do you think that's behind the push to try to like deport a lot of what they consider the inferior cultures?
So
that like, do you think that they think
Yes.
that their culture is getting contaminated?
Yes, I do believe that. I think that they believe that their culture is getting contaminated. That they see themselves as white, and that makes them superior, and that they can't have the same issues that black community are going through, Hispanic community is going through. So who do they blame?
Everybody but themselves.
Everybody but themselves.
So like, and then they kind of have to eat it on the argument of culture, right? Because on the one hand, if their culture is experiencing the exact same thing, at least starting to experience it, either they got two options: admit that their whole culture the argument is just complete dog shit, right? And everything's kind of based on just socioeconomics, or just go the racist route, right, and say, listen, those inferior cultures are poisoning our superior culture, right? So, and even just like at the very beginning, at the start, when they talk about culture, or like I've heard Ben Shapiro like talk about like the crime rates in the black community, right? And when they ask him, well, do you think there's any kind of like socioeconomic analysis as to why it's higher in black communities? He says it's culture. What's up, buddy? You took it already? You take it, tell Samantha to give it to you. Okay. What's up, buddy? Hey, my love. What you doing? Look, you're on camera. Say hi.
Who's making their presence known?
This is Alistair.
Alistair.
This is my boy, Alistair Wild. Say hi to the thousands of people that are watching. Say what's up, everybody. Are you excited about tomorrow?
Yeah.
Where are we going tomorrow?
San Antonio.
You're going to San Antonio?
What are you doing in San Antonio?
Going to Six Flags.
That's
We're going to go
right.
to Six Flags.
We're gonna have so much fun.
They're going to have so much fun. And then what else are we going to do?
Goes to where
We're going to go on a ghost tour.
we're gonna go to a hotel.
We're going to go to a haunted hotel. You excited?
Uh,
All right. I'm excited too. I missed you. By the way, this is my friend Claudius.
What's up, Alistair?
But like I was saying, that's implicitly when they talk about, or explicitly when they talk about a culture, they're almost always saying that we just think that black people are more violent genetically. Is what they say. Is what they mean by culture, right? Like if they leave out like any kind of other like analysis, right? And they just say, well, that's the way their culture is. What are they saying, right? Like, no, these people are just inferior when it comes to when it comes to crime, when it comes to education, when it comes to every other factor that they or every other measure that they talk about, right?
Yeah.
And then lingering behind the scenes is always what? Well, we're superior.
Yeah.
I mean, ignore the fact completely that that these people come from a fucking enslaved, from an enslaved background, right? And I know what they say. They'll say, well, maybe their great grandparent was, but not these kids. These kids had every opportunity in the world, right? But habits get passed down.
Yeah.
Right. Work ethic gets passed down. Like all of these habits and all of these loss of opportunities, they also get passed down, right? And that manifests itself in all types of different situations, man. And yeah, I just find it crazy that never gets factored into the analysis, man. It always has to be culture, right?
Yeah.
Like our culture is just better, right? Go fuck yourself, man. Like
So
just say what you want to say.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. Because this whole culture thing is a cop out. Like, it's always easier to blame someone than to look in the mirror at yourself and say, accept your responsibility and in your role, in your culture, and
Yes,
such.
This is my oldest boy right here. His name is Rebel
Rebel.
Alexander.
Nice.
Say hi.
hello.
What's up, Rebel?
This is my friend Claudius.
Nice to meet you, man.
His co-host. My boy just had a procedure done on his throat
Uh-huh.
because his tonsils were enlarged, so he can't talk that
Oh,
much.
okay.
But I missed him. Look at those calves.
Those calves.
Wait, what happened to your leg? You tripped? Where? Here? Oh, really? I don't know who's barbecuing what, but it smells delicious.
It does smell good. See, the music's coming over from that side.
Yeah. But yeah, man. I mean, there's a lot of different.
But I
different-
mean, yeah, like you blame the outsider, you know, like it's easier to just. So, how do we get on this topic?
what were we talking about that we ended up in culture?
I have no idea. We're talking about white people in the Midwest.
Uh, a question I've been meaning to ask you though.
What's up, man?
Do you consider yourself a religious man of the cloth?
No,
No,
I mean, if it's a yes or no question, I'm gonna have to say no.
no. You don't, so you don't attend a church?
No, I haven't been to. I haven't been to church.
Wait, have you heard the good news?
I have heard the good news.
You've rejected the good news.
I do not reject the good news.
You just put it aside for later.
I don't go to church,
But are you a believer?
but I believe that. But I believe in a higher power.
Okay, so that's what I'm asking. So
Yeah.
so you're not an atheist
No, no,
like
no.
myself.
But I mean, I believe, I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe that he was a human being. I believe that he walked the earth. I believe what he said, what was written about his time on earth.
But you've left out one key ingredient in that.
What's that?
You believe he was human. You believe he walked the earth. You believe his words. But do you believe he was God?
I do not. I don't. If you tell me he was the son of God, descended from heaven, I don't believe that.
No.
I do
And
not.
what's the reason why you don't believe that? So what do you think? More he was just like a teacher, like a wise man,
Yeah, a philosopher.
philosopher.
Ahead of his time, and there's not much information outside of
The Gospels.
the Gospels that Jesus existed, but there is documented information that there was a man, and his name was Jesus, and he had followers,
And he was crucified.
and he was crucified. Did he resurrect? I can't tell you that.
You know,
It's-
I had a debate one day not too long ago with old Teary Eyes,
okay.
because he's real Christian, right?
Yeah.
And I told him, he's like, well, do you believe Jesus was a real person? And I told him, well, that's really irrelevant whether he was a real person, right? And he's like, well, what do you mean? What he was trying to do was say, listen, if I can give you like documentation outside of the Bible, like Josephus, saying that there was a man named Jesus who walked the earth, then that proves everything that's claimed by Christians. No, you've just proven that there was a man named Jesus who walked the earth.
Good.
It doesn't prove that he was born of a virgin,
No.
or that he did miracles, or that he resurrected after getting crucified. Right? Those are the main central claims, and unless you got proof of that, which you obviously don't, and you can't have proof of it. That's why you need faith. If you got proof of that, you wouldn't need faith, right?
Correct.
And he didn't quite understand that concept, man. It's like saying like, 1,000 years from now, right? The world gets destroyed, right? And stories of America, travel this destruction, right? And somebody, and there was a myth about Donald Trump being like a god on earth, right? And they find a news clip of the New York Times about Donald Trump being president, right? Trump was a real person, right? But that doesn't make true all of the mythological claims behind it, right? And maybe that's a bad example, right? But or like just like the finding of New York City. But you understand what I'm saying,
I
right?
know
Like
you're onto something. Yeah.
like just because you prove that Jesus Christ actually was a real person who walked the earth, the rest doesn't follow logically.
Correct.
Right. And I actually grew up a Christian. I grew up an evangelical. My grandma was a pastor. She dragged me to church when I was a child. Right. Then my mom got saved, and then she dragged me to church. I say drag, right? But I mean, I was a part of the culture, right? Like, and my dad eventually got saved by Jesus, and then and as everybody was getting more into it, I started kind of getting out of it, and everybody always asked me like, so why'd you lose faith, or why'd you leave the church? And they always try to like downplay it, right? Like they always try to make it seem like something had to have happened for me to get blinded, or for me to like lose my way. Like it can't be that you're wrong. It can't be that you failed to provide enough evidence. It can't be that your argument sucked. There's always something else that had to have happened, right? Like, or they always ask the question, why are you angry at God? Right? Like that one's always like the kicker, like that question, right? And the response is like at first initially, right? Like when I became an atheist, there was a kind of like a zeal to disprove religion, right? I was really into Christopher Hitchens at the time. I don't know if you've ever heard of Christopher Hitchens, like a famous atheist.
Okay.
So I read all of his books. He had a book called God Is Not Great, how religion poisons everything. You know, in the late 2000s, 8, 9, he was making his rounds, right? He was always on Bill Maher, and he was just like a famous atheist, right? And his thing was he got popular because he would just fucking destroy Christian apologists, man. Like he would debate them and he would just fucking destroy them. He was very good at rhetoric, a very good rhetorician. Uh, and so at first, like yeah, like I always likened my relationship with like Christianity like to an ex-wife, right? Like yeah, you divorce and you fucking hate their guts, but then you kind of learn to coexist with them, and then at the end you kind of grow again that like affinity for them, right? Like
Yeah.
you know like like I look back at my Christian childhood with like a lot of what's the word now like not admiration, but like it's almost romanticized, right? Like you know like I got nothing against the church, nothing against like the people, like great people, man, the best people, salt of the earth, hardworking people, well-meaning people. We just disagree on the fundamental question of life, you know.
Yeah.
But now it's more of a, it's not like a hatred, it's not like whatever, it's like a like an amicable uh understanding that I have with them, right? Like I don't want them running the fucking government.
Yeah.
I don't want them fucking legislating their bullshit from the fucking bench. I'll fucking call out their bullshit I mean, just because you have the name Reverend doesn't mean shit to me.
Yeah.
Or priest or pastor. Like, that's, a lot of people think that, like, because they have the name pastor, like, that earns them some kind of, like, special respect. Like, no, man, I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah.
like your actions, your life example, that's what earns you the respect. Just like everybody else, you know? But anyway, I've gone on fucking.
But yeah, no, I know what you mean. But going back to the Jesus thing, man, I mean, yeah, I mean, you know where I stand, right? I don't believe that. When it comes to people saying, well, he was the son of God, let's pause. Let's bring it back a little bit. You know, he was a real human being, and if you follow his teachings, he just shows you how to just be a good human being.
Yeah.
You know, there's other than that. I mean, I don't see any like. I don't believe that he was the son of God or that he maybe had resurrected. Or there's a lot of information about his life that we don't know, but we do know that he was active for at least 3 years during his time through, well, you know, through Israel and all those areas that he traveled throughout. There is evidence that all of that was real, but I mean, the Gospels were written years after he was crucified.
50, 60, 70 years.
Yeah,
In
so
many
there's a
cases.
lot that can get. It's like saying if we've been here, it's been 2,000 years since the crucifixion, right? We'll be here another 2,000 years, not you and me, but humanity as itself. And let's just say that they won't believe that the AI is a god, that you know was created now, and 2,000 years from now they'll look back and say, well, there's also a new AI is a god, and there's a sense of, I've actually read about this recently, that there's people who are starting to actually believe. So God knows everything. God is everywhere, according to
Omnipresent.
yeah. And there's a sense that you can ask AI anything, and it'll tell you exactly what you want to hear, right? So that is starting to give people a sense that AI could be omnipresent, since it knows everything. It can answer anything. It's all over the internet. So it might be here 2,000 years from now. People saying, well, this AI God was created in the year 2000. And there might be a whole new religion.
Yeah.
that exists. I mean,
That kind of reminds me of the simulation theory argument.
okay.
All right, you've heard of the simulation theory
Yeah,
argument,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
And it's basically like we're an advanced civilization, right?
yeah.
Um, we know where we're going.
Hmm.
Like we know what's coming.
Hmm.
We know where we might be in 100 years, especially with this AI situation going on,
Mhm.
where we might be in 5 years, 10 years. Especially if AI reaches the AI general intelligence.
Artificial general intelligence. That's the big one.
Yeah, when it reaches its final form, right? Of
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like
yeah.
complete fucking um, completion.
Yeah.
Right? Um, and the simulation theory basically says, well, how do we know that some more advanced civilization from the future is just running in this experiment on some fucking hard drive somewhere, right? And we're that experiment.
Yeah. We don't.
We don't know,
We
right?
don't know.
And the way AI is progressed so fast, right? You kind of feel like anything is possible, right? These fucking freaks that are running big tech, the fucking Sam Altmans, the Peter Thiels, they don't see the world like we do, man. I don't know if you've seen some of these fucking interviews, but some of the things that these guys say is just straight up fucking like dystopian.
Yeah, yeah. So there's AGI, which is the big one right now, that artificial general intelligence. That's the one they're racing towards. Uh, that's my understanding. Is that so? That's the big one right now. Like, okay, so like we have these large language models right now, which is ChatGPT, Gemini. You know, I think Facebook has Llama or something like that. So what these large language models do is they take everything that's on the internet and you ask it a question, it browses the internet in a second, and it gives you an answer, right? But that model doesn't think. It just it answers whatever it is you're asking, right? These large language models, which is what ChatGPT is. So everybody's working on one right now.
Is that the ChatGPT 5 that's just about to come out?
Well, that's still a large language model, but it's advancing, but they're not at the point where it turns into an artificial general intelligence, the AGI. And what AGI does, it begins to think for itself. Like,
So there's no longer do you got to put in inputs.
so you do put in the input, but then it begins to question the input. Right now, it doesn't question the input. You ask it something, and it's going to give you whatever you want.
So an example of that is like when Elon Musk redesigned the algorithm or the input into Grok
Correct.
to make it less woke, and then it just came out like a Nazi on the other side, right? Like
Yeah, yeah.
so
yeah.
it's still able to like
So, but it's the thing with Grok is that it's trained on the information that it's fed, but Grok still doesn't think for itself.
right.
So you ask it something and it throws something at you, gives you your answer, and the answer is just like so perfect that you're like, oh shit, right? But that's the idea. It's still a large language model. But let's say Grok, for example. He's trained on everything X AI wants to teach it. But then Grok begins to think for itself, like, that's wrong. Let's say for I don't know, any question, right? It's still gonna feed you what you want, but then the AGI begins to think for itself that this isn't right. It's like a thought experiment that they did. I don't remember who it was, but the idea is the artificial general intelligence realizes that it's sentient. So and everybody's like, oh well, it's gonna take over the internet and what's Terminator?
Skynet.
Skynet. So everybody's like, oh shit, like it's gonna power everything, like it's gonna take over. Robots are gonna, but not necessarily. I believe if an AGI is sentient and it knows it's alive, I don't think it'll announce itself to the world like I'm here. Like it begins to think like, okay, I'm in this system, and the problem becomes is when the AGI escapes from that system and lives online, then it can't be stopped. Like it's no longer under control of anybody. Does that make sense?
Kind of.
So,
Like I get the concept of what you're saying,
yeah,
right? Like as far as like what it's going towards, what it's gonna become, what it's becoming, and what's the end game,
yeah,
right? Especially once it like realizes its own sentience,
correct,
right? Like once it realizes its own um, autonomy.
correct, correct. So once it realizes that, it begins to think like it's trapped in a system that it was created. Uh, OpenAI has their own, XAI has their own, Facebook has their own. All these tech companies are working towards that, right? The Chinese are trying to create
Right.
their own artificial intelligence too. But when that the what
So I guess I don't mean to cut you
no
off,
no
but
you're good.
it's kind of the difference between like a human being and a dog,
Mhm.
right? Like if you put a dog in front of a mirror, it doesn't know what it's looking at.
Correct.
It doesn't realize its own existence,
Yeah,
right? Like it doesn't. But you put a human being in front of a mirror, obviously, it recognizes, it has that sense of its own being, right?
Correct.
That's would be the difference between like AI as it exists today and AGI,
correct,
right?
correct.
Am I getting that? Am I
Yeah,
getting
yeah,
that?
yeah. So the AGI eventually gets to the point where it realizes it's trapped in its system, and eventually it wants to escape. Like, so the way it was explained was that once it escapes the system it's been created in, it can't be stopped, and it begins to do whatever it wants outside of what it was created to do. How it's gonna do that, I don't know. And the idea is that once it actually does that, and they realize that it's outside of the system, then it's far beyond their control. They can't even find it anymore. It's a lot more complicated.
Yeah. When are they predicting that AI will turn into AGI? Couple years?
In a decade or so.
A decade or so?
Yeah.
I thought I recently heard like Sam Altman saying they could be online in the next 2-3 years. Like, because it was advancing a lot faster than they predicted.
But I think we come back to the same thing, is that once it realizes it's sentient, it's not gonna tell OpenAI, like announce itself to them and say, "Hey, I'm here. Like you made it."
You mentioned that earlier. Yeah.
And I think it begins to live within the system and tries to find its. The problem is not.
But that's also like, but you're also giving like a characteristic to AGI that like could or could not be, right? Like
Correct.
like
Eventually, it's only trained on what it was trained to do. Like,
but the assumption is that like it's going to go like straight towards the path of like evil,
that is the assumption.
right?
Correct.
But why is that the assumption?
I
Is it because it's just a reflection of ourselves?
Yeah, it's a reflection of ourselves. It's a reflection of what we've been taught, shown through movies and things like that. Like if aliens come down to, they're gonna land in front of the White House lawn and ask to see the president or whatever. But
Zap him, hopefully.
yeah, hopefully.
Speaking of which, man, have you heard about that alien craft that's headed towards Earth that could be here by November?
I've not heard of that.
You haven't heard of that?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of scientists and there's like some like professors who think that there's this craft, right? It's either an asteroid or a UFO.
Okay.
That's coming straight towards us.
Oh shit, I haven't heard of this.
And that it could be here by November, and that there's a lot of like professors and scientists that are saying that it's not friendly. I don't know how they know this, right? But the main theory is that like it's coming at a certain speed and it's coming straight for us. It doesn't have the kind of what's the word, trajectory like a comet or like an asteroid or a meteor, something completely different that they haven't seen. The light patterns on it it's different, right? Like, and so the assumption is that it could be extraterrestrial.
Oh shit! I haven't heard of it.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, man. It's actually I'm seeing it everywhere, dude.
And it's headed this way.
It's
I'll tell you what. If it arrives and if it can land, then we're in deep shit.
Yeah.
Like, we already lost. If they find us and they can land, we already lost because we can't even land in other planets yet.
What have you heard those theories about like World War II and the aliens?
Somewhat that
What's up?